Welcome to Overtime with Jared P. and Johnny O, episode 63. And we're going to get into the NFL Power 5 or NFL Power 5. We have special guest, former professional football player Jeremy Phillips. And since we have you on, you also are a title sponsor, Elite Performance Chiropractic. Tell the people why they should come to see you.
I'm the owner and founder of Elite Performance Chiropractic here in Greensboro since 2008. So next month, actually in a couple of weeks, we'll celebrate 17 years, which is crazy to me.
Wow.
We treat a lot of active people. We are kind of the place to go for athletes here in town. We keep a lot of the high school kids on the field, anywhere from somebody trying to do their first 5K to somebody that's doing their 25th marathon. We see it all, as well as we see just the regular everyday corporate worker and people. So we keep people active, keep people living their lives, and that's kind of our claim to fame and how we've been in business for 17 years here in Greensboro.
That's incredible. They do great work. Greensboro, Winston-Salem, online, on Facebook, social media, everything that you need. Okay, well, let's get started. NFL Power 5. Usually we go 5 to 1, or if Jeremy, if you want to just join the discussion, or you can kick it off with, the team that you have at number 5, or you just want to kind of go along with what, our arguments are, whatever you think.
If you guys want to lead or whatever, however you guys want to do it.
Okay. Right. Well, Johnny, you start. You start with number 5.
All right. So we'll start at number 5. And what a crazy last couple of weeks this has been. There was a lot of debate with me when I was going through these as my number 5, but I'm going to say my number 5 is the Detroit Lions. They are still hanging in there. Still think they're a heck of a football team. Kansas City just played almost a perfect game the other night. But I still like the Lions. The Lions are 4-2. Golf and company, Jared Golf and company will, they're still on fire. They're still going to be all right. And I noticed they are 4-2 and they are plus 49 points as the, overall in the season. I think that's a big deal. I really do. I think Detroit is still number 5 and deserving so. So the Detroit Lions, number 5. What do you got, Jared?
Yeah, I have the Philadelphia Eagles at 5, barely.
That's exactly was my pick, and I knew it wasn't Johnny O's pick.
No, he's going to have them. If he can force them in number 1, he would.
I'm just going to mute myself right now. I want to hear you guys talk.
Jeremy, go ahead. Why do you think so? Why do you think Philadelphia is at number 5?
Well, I think I like Philadelphia, and they're in my top 5 is because they have 2 great weapons that can run the football. And I really think that's the difference maker down the stretch in the NFL is your ability to or to not run the football. With Hurts and Saquon at the present time being healthy now, we know that can change in a snap of a play. But I like their ability to run the football consistently. And I think as we continue to progress through this season, I think that will win them some football games. So that's why they have not dropped out of my top 5. The injuries and stuff with, I'm sure we're going to get to that in this segment. But them 2 being healthy in the backfield for Philadelphia Eagles, I think is going to win them the majority of their remaining football games.
Yeah, I know, Johnny, you're a big fan. We'll let you finish off with the Eagles. But, they've been outgained in every single game so far this year. And you can say this with other teams, but this team could easily be like 1-4 or, 2-3. But they pulled out some wins. And they just have not looked sharp at all. Confusing at times of how little they're running the ball. And then, Johnny, I know we talked last week about how the pundits said you're not running the ball or you're not throwing the ball enough. And they threw the ball a bunch and they lost. And then the pundits got on about that. So it's a lose-lose.
I just think their last game, they give the ball to Saquon. He breaks one for 18. They give it to him in the second play. He breaks it for 12. He's got 30 yards and 2 carries in the first 2 plays of the game. And then they're like, oh, we got to start throwing the football. And it's like, why? You never stopped Saquon.
Right.
I didn't understand that at all. It's almost like they got an identity problem. It's like they want to fit in this mold. And I say, fit in the mold of what's going to win you a football game.
Yeah.
You know, they were winning football games early in the year, and everybody was like, man, Saquon hadn't even scored a touchdown yet.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. They're winning football games. I'm sure Saquon's at the point of his career where he's like, I don't care if I score a touchdown at all, as long as we're winning football games.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I just couldn't believe it. 2 plays, 30 yards.
Yes.
And they kind of went away from it.
Oh, I was so excited to see those 2 big bursts. I'm thinking, okay, now we're back to, Eagle football. But it stopped after that. And not to jump on, what you got going here, Jared, but the Eagles, I think it's the offensive line, man. They're just not, and they have injuries on the offensive line. They're missing a couple guys, but even I guess just consistently, that's all that running game got them to the Super Bowl, and all that kind of good stuff. And they can throw the ball, but I think the offensive line is kind of letting them down a little bit right now, and they got to get back to Philadelphia Eagle football. No matter if the line isn't doing the job, continue to run the ball. When you run the football, it changes so much. Every part of the game it changes, man. Passing, defense, it gets your defense off the field. I mean, it eats up clock the whole 9 yards. They got to get back to it.
Absolutely. And they have way too much talent on offense to be this bad. They should not have been outgained in every single game when you have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Goddard, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. There's no excuse to be 31st in the NFL in passing and 17th, 18th in rushing. It's just really no excuse. But it's a long season, but trending in the right way for me and Jeremy, I think. I don't know if he hates the Eagles or not. But all right, Johnny, who you got at number 4?
It might be a surprise, but I'm gonna go with it because here's a team that's been through disastrous injuries all year long and last year. San Francisco is my number 4 team, and I know they just got beat, but they're 4-2 and they're 3-0 in their division, and that's a pretty good division they're in. So they are, they're there. They're Matt Jones is getting the job done. Brock Purdy hasn't even taken it. I guess first game he took some snaps, but that's all. He got the big money. He will be back. But Matt Jones is filling in nicely, and I got to give San Francisco kudos on this. They are first of all, they're such a great organization, and that's probably why they are 4-2 and doing what they're doing right now. But I got to stick with them. They're leading that division, and they're my number 4.
Okay. I would have it. My number 4 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And some people might have them higher because of their record, and they have, I think the last game he had one skill player that was the starter that was playing, and they still won the game. By the end of the game, they only had one healthy skill player. Mayfield's been so fun to watch. Their defense, obviously, Todd Bowles always has a strong defense as a defensive-minded head coach. Baker Mayfield is now must-see TV. I mean, it's like, however, all these games are close, and how long can you do that? That's why I don't have many higher than 4 with their record, but they're also not healthy. And I think a healthy Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, we can really know what they're working with. And, I would say they were going to run away with the NFC South, but the NFC South looks like there's at least 2 teams that are saying, hey, we're here to play this year, and the Panthers and also the Falcons with a pretty dominating win over the Buffalo Bills. So, yeah, I have them at number 4. What do you think, Jeremy?
I was going – my 4 and 3 is probably interchangeable. I can make arguments either way, but it was the game, not this past weekend, but the game before was Tampa and Seattle. Great game. It came down to who had the ball last, literally. And, again, Tampa – playing with fire and rolling the dice or whatever. I don't know if they need to go to Vegas and or whatever, but if they got the ball last, they're going to win the ball game. It's just what it comes down to. But I was watching that game, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, my God, both of these quarterbacks, they were playing lights out. It was a shootout back and forth. And I'm like, both of these quarterbacks were on the Panthers roster at the same damn time.
Right.
And then I'm sitting there looking, and I'm doing further research, and I'm like, Darnold's throwing the Smith and Igba, and, Mayfield's throwing, and Ibuka's catching the ball with one hand. I'm like, oh, my God, they played in college together. And then just out of curiosity, I pull up the wide receivers that were on the team for Ohio State back then. You got Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., those two in that game, and then Olavier or whatever for New Orleans. I'm like, my God, like it's incredible how much wide receiver talents came out of Ohio State. But not to sidetrack, but my 4, I would say, would be Seattle. Okay. And then my 3 is Tampa. So that's the reason why I mentioned that, because they were kind of interchangeable for me. I could kind of make arguments either way, but Tampa is coming up with the win, and including one over Seattle at the end.
Yep.
That's a good choice. I like Seattle a lot. Sam Darnold is not a fluke. I think people were thinking it was a fluke in Minnesota last year. Totally different offense, different scheme, different team, and he's making all the right plays.
I mean, you making fluke into 500-600 type. You can't get with 14 wins in the NFL and be a fluke. I mean, he had 14 wins last year. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, absolutely. I mean, how did the Panthers screw this up? It baffles me.
They invent ways. Johnny, who do you got at number 3?
My number 3 is the LA Chargers. 3-0 in their division. Arguably, maybe the best division in all of football. With KC and Denver lurking right there. I'm still believing in the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh. I know they went in a little bit of a 2-game slump there, but I think they're going to be just fine. And Justin Herbert is doing great things like he's supposed to be doing. So my number 3 is the LA Chargers. I'm sticking with them. 4-2.
I'm off the Chargers bandwagon. They have the tools. I mean, they have an all-pro quarterback. Yes, a great coach, weapons, but I don't know. There's something. I mean, Washington, is my team, and Washington handled them easily. And I don't know. I think they play up or down to their competition, not a Jim Harbaugh trait as a coach. And I'm like, so I don't think they've hit their identity this year. I mean, I thought the way they started the year, they were pass heavy, and you and I, Johnny, talked about how much we liked that they took the governor off, so to speak, off of Herbert this year. But they just have been lackluster since the second week of the season, and I don't get it. But anyway, so no, not in my top 5. Get them out of there.
No.
Also, get the Bills out of there too. Your Bills, get them out of there. Not in the top 5. At number 3, I have the Indianapolis Colts. And I think the reason is they're not a sexy team. Daniel Jones is a retread, but also Sam Darnold's a retread. Baker Mayfield's a retread. Yep. In some ways, Aaron Rodgers is a retread, or at least an afterthought coming into this year. But so that's my only hesitation of not having them any higher. They are 5-1. Daniel Jones, who had this on their bingo card, is leading the NFL in total QBR. Nobody wanted him. The Giants said, no, we don't want him. And they really, they said he's going to be a backup in Indianapolis. And here he is playing the best football probably of his career. And he's second in the NFL in rushing touchdowns behind your boy Jalen Hurts from the quarterback position. I just want to see, can he sustain this over, let's get to like week 8, 9, if they're, still rolling that way. That's why I have them at number 3, even though they are 5-1. Jeremy, what do you think?
My power rankings, right, which, 4-3, that was Tampa, Seattle, kind of interchangeable.
Okay.
So my two are my Los Angeles Rams. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Now, it's total fluke. I cannot believe they lost to the San Francisco 49ers second team, basically, because everybody was out with injuries that game. And they would just I forget who they beat before, but it was handedly. They put up 40-some points the week before, and then they come and just totally played horrible against San Fran. And then of course we'll find out later today with the press today being NFL press day, the Puka situation. I mean, he was injured, but it didn't look like something terrible. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I mean, if he's out, then they're probably out of my top 5, to be honest with you. But I think I love the way the Rams are playing when they're playing to their ability, I guess I should say right now.
Yeah.
Well, Puka Nacua, I think, was on pace after week 4 for over 200 receptions this year.
Sure.
And over 2,000 yards receiving. I'm like, he's going to get hurt, which I don't want to see. Luckily, they said he could have gone back in the game, but they didn't want to push it. He's also I think he's a member of our church, so I like him a little bit more. Puka Nacua. Yeah, him and Jackson Dart, we're having a good year. Mm-hmm. So anyway, a little side note there. But no, I do like the Rams a lot. The inconsistent play as of late and losing to San Fran, like you said, their second string kind of gave me a moment for pause. We'll go in reverse order. I will go back this way on the screen. At number 2, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I know you hate him, Johnny O.
I do.
I know you want it. Yeah. He's kind of quiet there. He's not really making any news or controversy. And he's got these huge receivers. I mean, like literally huge receivers, and DK Metcalf and their Vermouth or whatever they're tied in. And he's not making mistakes. And I think Pro Football Analytics or Pro Football PFF, they said that he doesn't take many chances down the field this year, but he has also done it in years. But he's not making mistakes. They're 5-1. The defense is starting to play like the $200 million defense that they are with the Steelers, and they're well coached. And who would have thought in the season that the Baltimore Ravens would be 1-5, the Bengals would be whatever the record is, with Joe Burrow out. They're running away with the AFC North, and so they're going to get a home game as long as everyone stays healthy. The Steelers are going to be tough. To beat.
He's just so cerebral. I was at Dublin. I went to the Dublin game.
Oh yeah,
and we had great seats, and you could hear him. He's calling his own plays without a doubt. Like, I think they probably in the headset they give him like 2 or 3 in his head, but like he's so smart. It's got to be so frustrating for a defense to line up and him just looking over and call whatever play works out best for what you're doing. Like he's playing chess out there. Really, I can remember one time hearing him. This guy, the linebacker, showed blitz. It was like a wheel linebacker came up and showed blitz, and he pointed at him, and he goes, "He's not coming." And sure enough, he didn't. He backed out into coverage. But he knew. And it's like, holy cow! Like, if you got a quarterback at the helm like that, calling plays that literally knows what the defense is doing, I mean, it's unbelievable. I never played with a guy like I played with some smart quarterbacks. Don't get me wrong, but. I mean, he's on a different level, right now. He's crazy.
Over 20 years of time, man. He has seen everything, I mean, that is quite impressive. I'm sure. I mean, he knows exactly. He's like playing a little video game out there by himself, It's crazy.
Well, and there was rumors and I think there's rumors that the Wonderlic test, which is like, the IQ test or whatever they do at the combine, he held the record for a while. And I don't know if that still stands or whatever. So add 20 years of experience in the NFL on top of an already highly intelligent individual. I mean, that's where we're at right now.
Well, and then think about how bad the Jets are. Without him. I mean, last year, they won a few games here and there, but that franchise is just a total dumpster fire. And he's having the last laugh when Aaron Glenn had him fly out across country, and then within 10 minutes told him, we're going in a different direction. He's like, you call me on the phone. And it's like, all right, bro, this is what you get. Y'all are the laughing stock of the NFL once again. Johnny, who you got at number 2?
Well, real back to Aaron Rodgers. You said it's quite, he's kind of being quiet and just kind of going through all the motions and just kind of, being the leader and everything. That's because they're winning football games. Let them lose a couple games, and then we'll start hearing that little mouth go. But anyway.
That's true. That is definitely true.
My number 2 is simple. And again, remember, this is after week 6. This is what we see right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are my number 2 right now. They're 5-1, and they have as we speak, the best NFL football player on their team, and that's Baker Mayfield. Right now, he's the best.
I think if you pick an MVP right now, he wins it.
Oh,
Yeah.
without it, no question. So I'm going to stick with Tampa Bay. And winning close games is a good thing, especially at the beginning of the year, man. That gets it flowing, and they'll start. I mean, please tell me you saw that one run when it was third and that was one of the greatest quarterback scrambles I've seen. I mean, definitely in the top 10. That was unbelievable. He's a gamer. So they're at my number 2. I like what they're doing. They're in that division that you're right. Atlanta, and we got to mention the Panthers are going to give them a little bit of, some heat. But right now, Tampa Bay is my number 2, definitely.
All right. And then at number 1, Johnny, you do us the honors of your number 1 team after week 6.
Number 1, my team is the Indianapolis Colts. Danny Dimes is an MVP candidate right now.
Agreed.
Okay, he wouldn't win it because of Baker, but he's right there. He's been consistent. The Indianapolis, their system must be the right system for this guy, and they got a power running game. They're my number 1 team, and if you haven't noticed, I left off the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not.
I was wondering if that was a mistake.
No, they're not in that top 5 right now. But like Jeremy was saying, like you were saying, the players that they have, they'll come together, man. They're going to be back. They're just too good not to get back. But right now, I think the Colts are playing the best out of anybody. I didn't really investigate on who they've been playing, but they have outscored over a 6-game period the opponents by 78 points. So this team is real. And it doesn't matter who you're playing in the NFL. It is a crazy friggin' league, as we can tell over the past week or two. Anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday or Thursday or Saturday night or Monday or whenever the hell they all play. So I give the Colts a lot of credit.
The Colts easily could be undefeated. The one game they lost, they could have easily won that game. All right, Jeremy, who do you have at number 1?
I have Indy as well. Indy as well. And they're the number 1 surprise team to me too. I thought Danny Dimes was done. I liked what he did at Duke and thought he was very worthy of the draft selection that the Giants used on him. It's just some people get in situations that just doesn't work out. It just I just wasn't a good mix for him. That's no hit against the Giants organization. I don't know a bunch about them, but it was a relationship that didn't work out, and it seems like the Indianapolis thing is. And I respect how it ended with him and the Giants. He went in early to work and asked to be released. And I thought that was cool because he kind of believed in himself, and I love situations like that. I love when people bet on themselves. And he asked to be released. And he wanted out of that situation. He ends up getting picked up with Indy and stuff. But, I think his success, albeit deserved, is totally overshadowing. Jonathan Taylor's having a hell of a year. And that's just not doing anything but helping Danny Dimes, with the play action pass and stuff like that. So, and I've always been a huge Jonathan Taylor fan. And I'm glad Indy found a way to keep him or whatever. They still need to give him a long-term deal. And maybe that'll happen after the success this year because I think ultimately he was wanting out of there because he's getting some age on him, wanting to get on a contender or something like that. Well, congratulations. Now you are contenders, So, they're playing good football now.
Well, I love the story. The Colts story to me is the best. Well, the number 1 team after 6 weeks.
Oh, no.
The greatest head coach currently coaching, maybe the greatest head coach of all time, after you've seen Belichick falling off. I know it's college, but falling off. Hasn't had a winning record since 2019, Bill Belichick. This team is converting 80% of their 4th down conversions, averaging 32 points a game in their last 3 games. They still have the greatest quarterback in the league. They're not even fully healthy. They get Rashee Rice back next week. The Kansas City Chiefs currently are the best team in the NFL. And tell me you would want your team to play against the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs? Do any of you want to play against?
First off, Danny Dimes don't need 4 downs. He gets this done in the first 3.
You might be right.
That's right.
I mean, I hate them. I hate it. Like, I never got tired of New England. I never got tired of Gronk. I never got tired of Tom Brady. I thought he was the best quarterback we'd ever seen.
Yep, me
I'm
as well.
sick of the Chiefs. I'm sick of them. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm just over it. They have a great fan base, loudest stadium I've ever been in. But it's I'm just and you know it looks like they're obviously they add Rice. They're going to get better. One would think. I don't think that disrupts the locker room or anything like. So it's going to be interesting how they do. I still question their defense at times, but of course health comes into play down the stretch of the season too. So we'll see. So.
Well, they've had 2 good games, really, really good games, and it's been their last 2 games. But let's see if they can consistently play.
And their
I don't
defense
want to play them. They are good. There's no doubt about it.
And their defense, I think, started off a little shaky, but their offense wasn't clicking. I mean, this offense looks more similar to the Tyreek Hill offenses of the past, where it's like he's spreading the ball around. The offensive line was a concern going into the season. They've shored that up where he had all day to throw. Mahomes is this thing I'm a little bit worried about. He's running a little bit too much.
You stole my thunder.
Oh, I'm sorry. One hit. Because I'm going to my first ever Chiefs game because my son's a huge Chiefs fan. I'm a Commanders fan. In 2 weeks, I'm like, I don't want him to get hurt at all, but I especially don't want him to get hurt before this expensive. For me, I don't have that chiropractor money.
I'll never forget. I was going to a game one time. It was Sunday Night Football, New Orleans, Dallas and New Orleans, and that's back when Dak was rolling, Drew Brees was rolling. Week before, Drew Brees gets hurt, so I got to watch Teddy Bridgewater get smacked by Dak Prescott in the Superdome. So it was a letdown. So I hope for the sake of your tickets and everything and entertainment, you get to see the full extent of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. But also, their defense to me has always been super consistent. And Steve Spagnuolo, he has 5 Super Bowl rings. Could possibly be the best defensive coordinator of all time. If you think of it. I mean, he's won 5 rings as a defensive coordinator, and you can name one player maybe on their defense. Maybe 2. Yeah. And their schemes are solid. And I don't know. I think Rashee Rice, if they stay healthy, this offense is going to be super scary, and it already is scary right now. I would not want to. They're better than their record.
But I really think, and they are. I mean, they're a scary team right now. There's no doubt. But I think Mahomes is doing too much. I think he's doing just as much as a Josh Allen. So if something happens to Mahomes, I don't know where that offense would go. I mean, he's running. Did he slide once?
No. I was like, dude, slide. I got to get these tickets.
He was getting popped, man. But I got to give it to him. He is fun to watch. But
I wonder you had him in the top 5. That's shocking. That's some hateration right there.
Yeah,
I just wonder, like, have they ever entertained getting another true deep threat like they have with Tyreek Hill? Because I think we can all agree they found a way to win. I mean, they've been back to Super Bowl since Tyreek Hill, but they haven't been as explosive since Tyreek Hill.
Right.
I mean, they figured out different ways to win. But I just wonder if, like, golly,
I think Xavier Worthy.
Before the injury, did they entertain going back and getting Tyreek? Like, I've just wondered if they tried to add that component into their offense, or at least had the conversation.
Yeah, my understanding, because my son's really into it, and I follow it a lot more because of that. I mean, I think they thought Xavier Worthy was going to be that guy. Mm-hmm. And he has trouble staying healthy, but he is fast, but he's not Tyreek. Well, no one's Tyreek. And then Hollywood Brown, they thought would have, it's like a poor man's Tyreek as far as like.
He looked good. He played good Sunday night.
But yeah, you're right. You think they'd go out in free agency and find like a speedster, and they haven't really done that to try to draft some. But because they have like the Smith-Schusters. I mean, I think last year they said they had their wide receivers were like dead last when it came to like separation.
Yeah.
I mean, they still made the Super Bowl when like dudes aren't open. I mean, that was Tom Brady's last year in New England. They were like dead last in wide receiver separation. and they were like 9-7 that year. It's hard to win when your receivers, you have to throw them open. But anyway.
And they're just plain old well coached, man. They got the best coach, and they got one hell of a staff. But hey, let me mention our other sponsors, and then I got a quick little question for you guys.
Okay.
So let me go over these. Estate Jewelry and Loan, something old, something new. Estate Jewelry has great selection of new and estate jewelry, and you can really find a nice piece at Brian's showroom. You can check them out at 2511 Battleground Ave and also at estatejewelryloan.com. Salsarita's Fresh Mexican Grill, located in High Point at the Palladium and in Greensboro in the Target Shopping Center in New Garden. He's got a food truck, catering, daily specials. You can go to salsaritas.com and ask for Miguel and tell him that we sent you over there. Shank and Torrance Insurance, located in Greensboro, but they serve the entire Triad and state. Brian Torrance specializes in personal insurance, including auto, homeowners, and life insurance. Give them a call at 336-310-1320 for all your insurance needs. All right, I got a question for you two gurus.
Okay.
What do these teams have in common? New England, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, the LA Chargers, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Green Bay Packers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the San Francisco 49ers. What do they have in common?
If I just had to guess off the top of my head, no, that wouldn't be it. I don't know. They've won Super Bowls with multiple coaches and
Excuse me. No. Simple. They're all leading their divisions right now.
Oh, even easier.
Crazy. Okay.
I thought we were back in history. Okay.
Remember, New England, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, the Chargers, Philly, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, San Francisco. What team is actually a Super Bowl threat, or teams, maybe you can give me two, what teams of those 8 are actually a Super Bowl threat that you would think could do it and really, really win the Super Bowl?
I'm saying Philly.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I'm saying Philly.
And I would too, just because they know how to do it. You know what I mean?
They've been there, done that. There's something to be said for that. As good as Indy's playing,
yeah.
Danny Dimes never went to a Super Bowl. Has Danny Dimes won a playoff game?
If he has, maybe 1 or 2, maybe.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers, because they have Matthew Stafford and that staff have won a championship.
No, this is the Chargers.
No, that's the Chargers, not the Rams.
Oh, you said it.
Chargers.
What did I say? I was thinking Rams. Sorry. No, I don't know. I think Philadelphia. I had to put my money on. It had to be Philadelphia.
I think that a Marion Hampton injury, this was his first week out. He's on IR and stuff, but I think that's going to haunt him, man. I just really do. I think he was a workhorse for him, not only in the run game, but I think he did a great job. He's a big back, and I think he helped him a lot in pass protection, picking up the blitz and stuff like that. Actually, I think that's how he was hurt, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I'm anxious to see, of course, the Chiefs are coming on. Denver's solid with that defense, and Patrick Surtain just absolutely cutting the field in half. I'm anxious to see how division leader, that could totally flop in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I was asking the question.
Sure.
I don't see any of them. Philly is kind of the only one, just because they, are Super Bowl champs. But to see any of those teams and say, "Oh yeah, my gosh, they could win the Super Bowl." No, that's a tough question. But again,
great question.
But I'm telling you, we still got 3 weeks. We still got 3 weeks before the trade deadline.
Yep.
Some of these teams could be literally one player away.
Yeah.
And, with some of the identity crisis that we hit on earlier with Philly, people are speculating that they may try to move A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
There's some early rumors there, but they say, nothing against him talent-wise. I just don't think locker room-wise you have to wonder if, when Saquon started out with those first 2 plays and then they went away from him, if they were trying to appease somebody, and instead of just sticking with what was working,
Yeah, and do you think maybe a Derrick Henry could be on the move?
If they could get something for him, like if they, they're missing 3 Pro Bowlers on defense alone.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just so like, before, if they drop the next 2 games and it's the week before the trade deadline and they start doing the math, they're like, hey, we're out of it, guys.
Yeah.
Let's start seeing what we can get for people, or if somebody like Derrick Henry at the tail of his career go in the front office and be like, hey, I need to win a Super Bowl, move me,
Right. And what team would not take Derrick Henry? I mean, there's very few teams, maybe the Colts, some people that have like a big stud, but I think you have probably offers from 25 teams. I mean, that would want a
But Derrick Henry's going to be selective again because he's going to want to go to a contender. I'm sure he's got a no trade clause in his, meaning he can be traded, but he has to approve it. Right.
What a great name to come up with, though. Derrick Henry. I wasn't even thinking of that. How about Derrick Henry to New England? Can you imagine that little combination, that passing and running game?
Sure.
I got a better one, and this is to help his family. He doesn't move too far. He can go to the Commanders.
Ooh.
What about? But my whole thing is, and this is one of the early rumors. That's why I brought AJ Brown up when I was looking at some stuff about some possible moves that could happen. What about AJ Brown to Pittsburgh?
Oh wow!
Could you imagine him and DK? They played college together. Could you imagine them two? That'd be 2 huge receivers.
Well,
for Aaron Rodgers.
We better get something. We better get about 2 or 3 defensive players or something off that Pittsburgh team for that, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you just throwing out hypotheticals. I mean, there's a lot of moving and shaking. I think that we can all agree that's going to happen with these standings.
Yep.
And we still the kind of the trump card or the wild card is we still got. I mean, some moves can be made.
Yeah.
Particularly with this many injuries going on and teams saying, it's just not our year. We got bit by the injury bug. We're out of it. Let's move some people. Let's get some cap space. Let's get some draft picks.
And it's a long season, and we're still in the first half. And those division leaders you read, Johnny, I'm guessing 5 or 6 of them will not be division leaders after the next 6 weeks.
Exactly.
The way they
agree.
There's probably 3 of them that won't make the playoffs.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, that's what's crazy about it.
That's what's nuts. The NFL is a little bit upside down right now. You just don't know. You don't know.
If you think about the most recent primetime games, on paper, theoretically, the underdogs won.
Yeah.
Buffalo gets beat by New England, which I think New England's a lot better than, what's been made of them so far. Yep. I mean, Vrabel's got that defense playing.
Yeah.
And then May, he's no sophomore slump there. He's playing well for the weapons he has. I mean, he's got Diggs, and then Hunter Henry's a great tight end, great route running tight end. But, I mean, Buffalo, I mean, they just kind of nosedived the last 2 games.
Yeah, and against the Falcons, they look terrible. And then Washington, who it's hard to know what they are because they haven't been healthy, all they had to do was not fumble the handoff. I don't know if you watched the game last night.
Sure.
3rd and 1. I mean, it's not guaranteed they get it, but they would go for it on 4th down. They get the 1st down, the game's over. And then, so they lost to a team that the Bears that they should have beaten. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Well, just off Atlanta's game last night, I read somewhere, and I need to confirm this, but their offense is number 1 in the NFL or the NFC maybe, and their defense is number 2.
Holy cow.
Just off their performance. It's like they woke up. I'm like, where is this Falcons team coming from?
That Bijan Robinson, you knew he was going to be a star. He's really, I mean, he's something special. They got a good team. How did the Panthers beat them 30-0 a few weeks ago?
And Bijan in London had 300 yards of offense between the two at the half.
Yep.
Jeez. Hey, real quick before we finish up, what was it like going and watching the game in London?
Yeah.
Oh, this was in Dublin.
Dublin. I'm sorry, Dublin.
It was awesome. I've been to 4 international games. I've been to London years ago when they first started doing it. I've been to Germany. I went to Frankfurt, Germany 2 years ago, and I've been to Mexico City. Dublin was by far the best, by far. The fan interaction, everything, it was great. It was an awesome experience. The stadium, 83,000. I mean, it was absolutely nuts. And so much fan participation, like during the commercial breaks that you don't see on TV. They're playing like music, like sing-along music and stuff. And, dude, they played the Cranberries Zombie.
Yeah.
And I thought the roof was going to come off. The place went nuts because, they're from there, right? So it was nuts. It was, but by far my best international game I've been to.
And with international games, obviously they have to just pick. I mean, they don't have their teams there. So, like, did you talk to anybody and say, like, how do you choose who to cheer for? You get one game a year. You just pick.
They'll show up in whatever jersey they own. Like,
okay,
I think the guy sitting beside me had a Packers jersey on. They just know NFL. They don't care. Yeah, it's great. Now, the one following that they do have that you see consistently in London is the Jaguars have played over there so many times that they almost have a fan base there.
And there's rumor that if there was an NFL franchise to go, that would be them to London.
London, yeah.
That's a whole other discussion some other time, but it'd be fascinating. And do you have any connections? I haven't bought my Chiefs tickets yet. I've been waiting for them, just looking at them. I'm not saying free ones. Do you have any connections?
Not directly, no. So
I've heard to ask.
No,
I'm awesome to death. A good deal.
My question to you in Dublin, does the Guinness taste even better than it does here?
It's I've never been a huge Guinness fan.
I love Guinness. I love it.
If you loved it here, you will definitely love it there.
Oh.
You can taste the difference. It's unbelievable. Yep. And it's really cool. We did the tour, and the whole it's like a 5-level tour as you're progressing through the brewery. And you get to look at it and you're like, oh my God, the whole tour's in a ginormous pint glass.
Oh, wow.
So you're progressing up to the top. And then when you get to the top, it's a bar that overlooks all of Dublin. So that's where you get your free beers at the end. It's basically the head of the pint glass. So it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
That is awesome, man.
That's great, dude. That's what tremendous memories. But, well, Jeremy, you're the man. Appreciate you coming on. I'm sorry.
Dude, I got to get back on here in like 3 or 4 weeks, and I need to pre-watch this show and then see how much different it is in 3 or 4 weeks. That's all it takes, man. It's crazy.
You can come on anytime you want, man. Seriously, we don't want to bug you, but we'd love to have you on every couple of weeks if you want.
Yeah, just hit me up. It was fun the other night, texting back and forth.
Yeah.
During the game, that was fun. So
I was like, and I had not decided like my Power 5, but then the way the Chiefs are playing, I'm like, oh, they're not going to like my number 1 team. I'm going to wait. That's why I went last. I was like, I can't wait to tell them Chiefs are back, baby.
Jared, when we were getting a text from Jeremy, I'm thinking, man, Jeremy might have had a few that day or something.
I probably did. So, but dude, this was awesome. But I'm anxious to see, like, does Atlanta gain a sense of confidence after last night's game and they go on a run here? Like, who knows? It's crazy.
Do the Panthers move into second place, maybe at 5-3? Who the heck? I mean, they looked great the other day. We got to give them a shout out. They looked like a real football team the last couple of weeks.
I think they got some good things going. I really do think they got some good things going. I like their coach. He seems to say the right things. He seems to, and I like Bryce. I mean, he seems like such a nice guy. You can't find nothing to dislike, although he drives me. He is so much better when they're in a tight game and when they're running the football and he can use the play action pass. If you ask him to just stand back here and shotgun and pick you apart, that's not his game. That's not. He's got to have some timing routes, play action pass, and if they're in a game, he's going to keep momentum like that. So.
But why have they been so good the last 2 weeks? Rico Dowdle, a running game, just incredible.
We didn't even mention him. I mean, he just, he's rushed for 400 and some yards in the last 2 games.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
And unlike, because, so many, maybe when you're playing pro football, you have these, you obviously have your coach on how to talk to the media and different things. That dude just straight up said, like, Dallas, I'm coming for you. You better be ready.
I know.
And
they weren't ready. They were not ready.
And what does the Panthers do? Chuba got a big deal.
Yes.
And now they got this Dowdle. Like, I'm not sitting Dowdle after he's rushed for 200 yards a game. Like, it's good problems to have. You got two legitimate running backs, you know, so.
Trade bait.
Trade bait for sure.
But that's going to be interesting to see what comes down on this trade deadline, for sure. For sure.
You got to love
because you're going to have some teams, due to injury, you're going to have some teams that honestly probably didn't think this was their year, but they're in it.
Right.
You know? And they're going to be like, oh, my God, if we got another receiver, what could we do? You know? So that's going to be interesting.
I would assume it'd be a busy trade deadline, but we'll see what happens.
Do you think Indianapolis thought this may be their year? Like,
no, absolutely not.
I think this may be a very active trade deadline,
or even
more
for
so than recent years.
Maybe even for a team like Buffalo, who were Super Bowl contenders, thought so at the beginning of the year, and they're not looking that way. They need to pick up a piece or two.
Well, it drives me crazy. Like, I ask my patients all the time, they're talking about what happened to Buffalo. I was like, name one of his receivers. And they can't.
No.
Yeah.
They've got no weapons for him.
Yeah. They need something.
AJ Brown.
I know. Yeah.
I just have a feeling he's going to get dealt.
I do too, a little bit, and it's going to hurt, but it might help us too. We're not, I don't know. We shall see.
Well, Jeremy, you're the man. Johnny, of course, you're the man, and really enjoyed it. And, we'll continue this crazy NFL season. We got 11 more weeks of it at least?
11 more. Yeah.
All right.
Regular season.
Thank you guys for having me.
See you
All
guys.
right. Until next time.
Overtime pay. We're talking the overtime play. The big stories, the big plays, the big drama. We got